All right, here we go. Episode 6 of the Harold Katz podcast. Glad you could join us. Oren Glickman, Jack Turell, and a special guest. It's Woj himself, Akiva Poppers. A lot of you guys are maybe expecting a live show due to technical difficulties. We're recording again, but this recording should be available for viewing beginning tomorrow. A lot to digest with Coach. YU played a couple games in the Skyline since we last touched base. We'll discuss the evolution of Effie Freundlich, and we'll discuss the motion offense. Is it here to stay, or do we need to reconsider the options going forward? Coach, I don't know if you've heard, but there have been some people who've been questioning the philosophy of the Max offense, and I think everyone on this call is prepared for about maybe a 10 to 15-minute rant. So by all means, you have the floor starting now.
Well, I'm not. Look, this is not new. For the last, I think, 7 years, we've had the leading scorer in the league. Some of those years we have multiple guys in the top 5, top 10. I think we're always in the top 5 in assists. Once Donnie turned the sophomore year. So usually it's kind of like we'll address everything. I'm trying to watch the basketball everybody else is talking about. This great dribble till the air comes out of the ball, James Harden nonsense. And I don't get it, because here's what I know. I know that every time they do an interview, every single cat says it's just really hard to replicate what Yeshiva does in practice. So we have a hard time. It's hard to guard them. It's hard to do what they do. It's hard. Now, I mean, we're going right to the Shark Tank. Hey, Jack, are you here?
I'm here, baby.
All right. Why don't you repeat some of that stupidity you dropped the other day? I don't even call it knowledge.
All right.
I'm calling it
I'm
ignorant.
sticking to my guns.
I'm just going to call it ignorant. I'm just going to call it ignorant.
I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not backing down. I'm sticking to it. Let me preface.
Soon enough, you're going to point right at your head. Go ahead.
So let me preface this. All right. The ball batim is more of a, as we said, it's like quick takes, short form discussions, quicker. It's closer to first take than it is the Zach Lowe podcast, right? So this is more of like a stretched out where we can actually explain, where we're coming from. I think that the motion offense has, and I don't think it's the proof is in the pudding, that it historically has been excellent, right? When we've had Gabe, when we've had Donnie, when we'd have Ryan running the offense through them in the post with two of the greatest passers ever, and Ryan's a very good passer as well. You're not losing anything with passing with Ryan in the post, and those are 3 excellent post players. What came out of the motion was backdoor cuts for guys like Ofak, who perhaps is the greatest finisher on those backdoor cuts in YU history, along with Ryan, who's up there as well. You have Gabe and Donnie making excellent passes to shooters such as Eitan and Simcha, who are in the discussion as the greatest YU shooters ever. And I just think, so historically and as an ideology, it's excellent and it's proven and it works. And I'm all on board with it. And like you said, it's right. Teams have a hard time replicating it in practice. The proof is in the pudding. When teams came and didn't throw junk at us in that Sweet 16, we looked like we were going to win the national title. We have never won, a second round game, and then we come in and we introduce the offense and we win several Skyline Conference championships. So I'm not questioning that. What I am questioning though is we're not running it. Right, we're now.
Hold on.
Let me finish. We're now 3/4 of the way through the season. We're in January. We have a clear advantage in the backcourt, but every time we bring it up, we got Max, that guy who loves to drive. He likes to dribble drive. We have Zevi, who likes to have the ball in his hands. I am watching as a fan, and I will admit that when I'm watching these games, I got my kid on the floor. I got to keep him out of the knife drawer.
Oh,
I got
man,
my wife in the kitchen.
it
I'm
don't
not
matter what
watching the
you.
game as intently.
You can watch it
However,
with you can watch it with full concentration. It's going to be the same nonsense coming out your mouth. Go ahead.
I'm saying we should. I just, is this team best suited with this offense? I'm not seeing it.
I'm interrupting you because we get your point, and now I'm going to address every one of them.
I didn't even say my point.
I get your point.
I don't know how the great the emotion is. I haven't said that. Maybe this is my point. I think maybe in offense it's 5 spread out.
Your point's wrong.
I've said my point. You could go ahead.
Okay, let me tell you why your point's wrong. First, let's review a little bit. I want to take you back to Ryan's freshman year. Okay, what was our record the first 6 games through?
Man, I can't remember. We lost. I remember that 19-8 was on the season.
That's right. That includes 17 in a row. Now, what was our record? What was our record the first 6 games?
So if we won 17 in a row, we were 19-8.
I'll do the math for you. I think we were 1-5. I think we were 1-5 at the time.
1-5.
Okay.
Yeah, we had some growing.
You know why we were
1-5? You
know what? You know why we were 1-5?
Let's hear.
You know who started the first 6 games in our backcourt that year?
Who started? It was Ryan Talguetta.
No.
Sim.
Was it Ryan and Tal? Yeah, maybe Tal. No, not Sim. First 6 games of the year.
Eitan Halper might have.
Eitan Halper. So we had a freshman backcourt of Ryan Turell and Eitan Halper. Let's just review some of the things you just said. One of the greatest shooters ever, the best player ever. And we started off 1-5 with a freshman backcourt because Sim was hurt. Right. So we had these two guys who knew nothing coming in and trying to run something that takes you a good year, by Ryan's own admission, to figure it out, or at least to begin to figure it out. So we're 1-5 with the greatest, statistically greatest shooter we've ever had, and the best player we've ever had. And we're 1-5 in the backcourt, and they're coming back to a championship team. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're running our stuff, and we're not playing IWU. We're losing to FDU. We're losing to Sarah Lawrence. FDU Fordham, right?
Be more specific.
Sarah Lawrence.
Confuse them with FDU from
lost that Ramapo after their Final Four year. So I remember that, and then Sim was hurt, and Sim came back during the Sarah Lawrence game, but he had to wear a mask, and I don't even know if he started. Did he start? He might have started that night, but anyway, we're 1-5, and we've got these 2 kids playing in the backcourt. There's a reason why we started off 1-5 with 2 freshmen in the backcourt, because they're freshmen.
And that's a key word for this season.
That's A. B. Yeah. Let me just go. Well, let's go one point at a time, Jack. Because I think your argument is, and tell me if I'm wrong, this is I believe you called it an outdated I'm trying to as you were running your mouth, I think it was outdated archaic. I don't know if you used the word archaic, but in your head archaic was there as you were trying to pimp alumni night at some point. So
wow,
archaic and all.
Hold on. I'm promoting raising.
So you're not showing up.
Pimping. Promoting pimping. What's the difference? Is it on February 11th? I will, God willing, I plan on being there. I hope to see
you there. That'd be fun.
Okay, me too. Because then we're gonna hang you in effigy at half court.
Yeah.
Hold on, Jack. Wait, we're far from done. Hold on. Listen, this comment came after we gave up 85 points to Merchant Marine. Now, if you ask me, the team that's the second leading scoring team in this conference, and I believe it's is it 0.02 or is it 2 points behind Farmingdale, whatever it is, with a freshman, 4 freshmen are starting lineup. So we gave up 85. Trust me when I say this, Jack. Offense was not our problem on Sunday. It was not our problem at Wesleyan. What did we give up? 84, 86, right? Yeah. You just can't survive in college giving up 80 plus. I don't care who you are. And some of the things you were asking, the answer is that side of the ball. And that's all I'll say about that because I don't want to call anybody out.
That's fair.
But the reason some guys play more than others is they get stops and some guys don't. And that's in any team. I'm not just talking about Yeshiva.
Yeah,
but if you think you're going to play. Now, see, let me tell you why I hate this plus minus stat, because I think one of them cats, I couldn't really listen for that long, but one of them cats quoted plus minus. Plus minus to me is a fraudulent stat. I'd rather see this stat, okay? I'd rather see who were you assigned to guard and what did you give us and what did you give up?
Right.
To me, that's true plus minus. Now, that being said, it's an offense that requires 5 people, and it's a defense that requires 5 people. But if everybody's blowing by you on every possession, you are not the solution to our offensive problems. Okay?
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's the first thing. Second thing, you're right. We didn't run it in the first half. That's a fact. And then we went 9 for 11 in the second half when we had 2+ ball reversals. That's a fact. We were 9 for 11. Where's the gearhead? Pop, were we 9 for 11 on 2+ ball reversals the other night?
It was 9 for 13, but same idea.
All right, that's an old Westbury game. I'm talking about.
You're right. Yeah.
Sarah game. Sarah Lawrence game.
Might have been 9 for 11.
9 for 11 on 2+ ball reversals. Jack, the whole thing is predicated on ball reversal. The whole thing is predicated on anticipation. It's not read and react. I hate that word because then you start thinking about dribble drive and all that nonsense that you want to run. It's not that.
It's not that what I want to run. It's what's being run already. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Whom?
Like,
by whom? No, I don't.
I love Max Zakheim, but he dribbles and drives it. He hasn't, he does it all the time when he sees it. So my argument.
Hold on a second. I hear your argument.
The motion is bad. I said the ideology and the motion is great, but I love to see if this is something that he wants to do. Why don't we implement something for a 5-minute stretch where we can maximize that? Give a different look.
Because a crime would be to maximize it for 5 minutes instead of 40 minutes. That would be the crime. The difference is you don't have the patience in your ideology to wait. It's all the reason we were 9 for 11 was because the multiple ball reversals got Zevi open looks, got Oren open look on the top, got max penetration baseline. That's the difference. You cannot in this offense or in college basketball run something where you come down the floor and take that thing down the middle of the floor, unless, of course, the team you're playing is crap defensively. So sometimes it happens to us because there are nights when we are Katie bar the door, everybody's coming through defensively. But you're going to try to penetrate against in the first 10 seconds of a possession in the middle of the floor and think you're going to get there in college basketball. You got to be outside your mind. But if you reverse that a couple of times, there will be defensive breakdown because guys are going to have to be the X cut. If you know what I'm talking about, guys are going to have to be the X cut. Guys are going to have to rotate. Guys have to cover down. And that's just not going to work. If you have the patience to go, let's just take the old Westbury game. Where was it? I got it someplace over here. I got it from 2 different sources based on what I wanted. And here's the number. We played Old Westbury, who we play Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
with 0 bar reversals. The first time we played them, we were 3 for 16 at 18.75%. With 1 ball reversal, we were 7 for 13 at 53.8%. With 2 bar reversals, we were 9 for 13 at 69%. On a fast break, we were 11 for 19. You want to make an argument against the offense? When we get to 2 bar reversals and it's 18% at 3 for 16, we need to change it. But when we do what we're supposed to do, 2+, and it's 9 for 11 or 9 for 13, why?
I don't know if my argument.
Yeah, everybody in the country should run it. Everybody, if that's your percentage.
No, I agree with you, and I guess my argument is not necessarily I said the offense is great. Historically, it's been great, but I think I'm most against playing the guys who aren't going to run it, even if they're
guys
talented.
who aren't going to run it. The guys who aren't going to run it are some of the guys you want to play all the time.
Last year we played a lot of. I'm going to call names because I don't care anymore. I want people to hit me up and hand on me. I'm ready for the smoke. Last year, Eitan Halper did not run it, and we played him a lot, and we got stuck a lot. And sometimes we had other guys come in not running it, not setting screens.
Jack, wait.
So if you're going to pull the guy,
no. Hey, the convicts don't get to run to jail, Jack. The convicts don't get to run to jail. So we're not going to stop. We're not going to sit here and go, hey, well, we know you're not going to run it, and we know you're not going to run it, and we know you're not going to run it. So let's change it. Like, you don't transfer into the school in a school that totally runs motion. You don't come here as a freshman. You don't come here as an upperclassman, and you know what we run. It's the reason you want to come to us, because we're winning, and we're winning this way. And then you come in and make demands. Let's ball screen. Let's dribble drive. Kiss my ass. Go play someplace else.
So then
this is what we do. And the only thing we have to fall back on is the last 7 years of success. And if you think 8-3 with a freshman starting lineup is a problem, then the problem is not the freshman starting lineup. It's the guy who's popping off talking about 8-3 doesn't do the job for him. And that's what Jack. Look, it's 8-3. If we play FDU Madison, or we played some of them cats we was playing, and by the way, that one, whatever, the Massey rating of 168 in that junior year, part of that was because we started 2 freshmen in the backcourt. Sim was hurt. We went 1-6. We had a crap-ass schedule in the beginning because we had to make up for a schedule we had the year before that. So we had games that we owed. We owed FDU a game. We owed somebody else a game, too. And so that's what happened. You have to clear that out. And now we're getting to run the games we want to run. So we're seeing top 25 come to our gym, including the best defensive team in the country statistically in St. Joe. And we dropped 60 at St. Joe, or in the 60s. We went 60 someplace else. And we're still popping around 70, some 79, 80 a game. So what I'm telling you is, I think Latan said something that offense is not meant for 90. We went 90 every night. The offense is exactly meant for 90 when you get guys who are going to run it.
Yeah.
And guys are going to come in and say, well, this ain't going to work, so we need to do this. Or this ain't going to work, we need to do that. Go kiss my ass. Go play someplace else. You don't belong here. Because we win here. And we win this way here. And we do go to the NCAA tournament. Doesn't mean we're going to go every year. But you start 4 freshmen. The worst thing that happened to us this year was we're in the race. That's the worst thing that happened.
No, we're in the what race?
That we're in the conference race now. I'd much rather, bang around with this freshman class that's 7-7. You know what I mean? But we're not. We're 8-3. We're a game out or a half game out.
Right.
That's a hell of a job. And we got guys who are nitpicking that we gave up 85 Sunday. 85 is not going to get it done.
Harold, you're bringing up excellent points. I don't have any.
I know I am. That's why I'm on the podcast.
Coach, I got to jump in for a second also.
No, shut up, Pop.
No, Coach, 1 second. We got up 85 to the Marines, and the Marines scored 59 against Old Westbury last night.
No, I get that. Pop, you don't think I know where my sentences are going? Shut up. I'll get there. Hold on. But the point is, I'm not going to disparage the Marines. Marines did a hell of a job on
Marines
that.
are always been a hard team to play on our home floor. Always been hard, even
They're
with
tough,
Ryan.
they're disciplined, they're well coached.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. And, face it, fellas, in 5 years from now, they may be seeing bullets. We're going to be seeing numbers coming
I
across.
thank them for their service.
We're gonna see numbers coming across our accounting page. So let's from a toughness standpoint, we gotta get tougher when we go to the Marines. And one of the reasons I think that team years ago that we built from the bottom up, they were tough enough. And there was never an excuse with that group, ever. You never heard them say, yeah, well, we didn't this, or we weren't this, or he was sick, or he was this, or I'm too small, or I'm too tall, or I'm too slow, or I'm too fat. Nobody did it because they had one thing in mind: it's about winning. End of story. End of story. And so when you do that, and 5 people play like a fist, we want Max to penetrate. By the way, the best kid I ever saw run this offense. Well, I mean, there's quite a few that were good at it, great at it. Sim for one. Tamir Goodman was the master, and we had the ball in his hands all the time, Jack. We had it in his hands all the time because he was this is the adjustment we made. Remember I told you the last podcast we were going to make an adjustment with Zevi? Yeah. We're going to see a different Zevi. That different Zevi doesn't just happen. It happens because it was purposely done. We knew what we had to do. You have to take account of Zevi as soon as the ball gets inbounds. Yeah. Now we went away from doing that, and it was our mistake. Zevi needs to touch it, and you need to know where Zevi is all the time. Look, trust me, the hardest thing to do is guard movement in basketball. And we're the one team that moves. I had a JV coach team we played last night. The JV coach came up to me, said, Coach, I just couldn't stop watching you guys. Because I was trying to scream to our team, like, don't follow the cut, stay and help. But it's constant cut, screen. You get back screen for a layup. And if you get guys who will run it and who will reverse it, you will get the open looks for the players you need, and you'll get the penetration for the players you need. And there's no exclusivity to the post touch. And by the way, I heard you say something about 4-5. I don't even know what that is, Jack. Well, I'm coaching for 40 years. Guys go, well, he's a 2. I don't know if I told you a story. I think I did. I tell you that story about that kid that came into me. I was teaching, said he was a 4. Did I tell you that story?
What story? Oh, about the kid who came in and said, I'm a center, I don't dribble, and you said you're not.
Yeah. That's the nut. Like, dude, give me a basketball player. I don't give a crap what size he is.
Here's my take. I say 4-5. I say on the BH podcast is an example to explain these positions are created so novices can follow the game. So, but when you're explaining it, you say it to accentuate someone who is lacking in a skill that would be considered, complete player oriented. So
you're saying doesn't.
So my question is, if we're playing an offense where you want 5 guys who could pass, shoot, and dribble, you want 5 basketball players.
We don't. Who said we want that? Who said we want that? Why would we want that? Huh?
You wouldn't want in the motion. It's not at its best when you have 5 guys who could pass, dribble, and shoot.
No,
who are good passing.
You think Gabe had a good hand? You think Gabe had a good handle for a college basketball player?
Hey, good for his size.
No,
he didn't get it stripped. No. He didn't get it stolen. He didn't.
You know why he didn't? You know why he didn't? Because you didn't put it on the deck. That's why, Jack.
All right. Good. Then forget dribbling. Good shooters and good passers. You don't want 5 guys on the floor that can do that?
I want 5 guys on the floor who's a good passer, a good shooter. We don't have 5 guys.
We play lineups that have guys who can't shoot or can't pass.
No, we only play a lineup that has 1 guy who can't shoot, and everybody wants that 1 guy to play. So
he's a great player.
So I'm saying he's playing. We're playing him. So what I'm telling you is,
I'm not gonna pull names. Yeah, no, I hear
you. Whatever you want about Dotan. I think Dotan's doing a hell of I think Dotan's doing a hell of a job. He's going to be a great player.
He's going to be a great player. That's true.
Right, but you know what the key is here? Freshmen, wake up. They're freshmen.
That's true.
Keyword of the season.
have a
Keyword
brother.
of the season.
Talking to my own team, your brother, on a post-COVID podcast, on a COVID podcast, your own brother saying to me from my team, it took me at least a year to figure out what we were doing offensively. So I went that whole freshman year when I was a junior without knowing. And when you watch the film of it, you know Ryan didn't know what he was doing, and you know Ofek didn't know what he was doing. All we told O that year,
Ofek
just
never knew what he was doing.
just cut. We will get you the basketball, son. Just cut. And that's exactly what happened. Well, we told him to screen a cut, but Ofek screening is like a blow by at a handshake at a, you lose a game, so you blow by the handshake. The bottom line is, you said it before. If guys aren't going to run it, that's the beginning and the end of the discussion, Jack. You don't blame the offense. Listen, don't blame the offense for players who don't run the offense.
That's a good point.
And the first half the other night, nobody ran it.
Yeah,
Nobody.
no one did. And that's why I come out of the game going like,
And the second half we did.
Why don't we? Why are we even running this? That was really the thought. It's like
No, you see, and that's the difference between me as a coach and you as a fan. Like,
enough.
my job is I got to put this on the floor every night. Your job is to do this. I put the money in the grinder and you clap like the money. You know what I mean? Like that. You're a fan. You're a fan. I have to look at it long term, and I look at it with my own basketball team and say, I'm not going to blame what we're running when guys don't run it.
So then,
When guys run it.
Then let me ask
When
you.
guys run it, Jack. When guys run it and it doesn't work, we bow down and say, whatever we got.
I agree with you, but so then let me ask you this: you're saying as your coach, and I'm as a fan clapping my hands. You're as a coach you're supposed to grind it out. Then as a coach, if guys aren't running it, if they're not doing it right, where is let me pull
on my team?
Let me put a veteran in who may not be as talented.
But then you get fans. Saying, "Boy, I'd love to see him playing a specific lineup, even though he can't get stops or swing the basketball." I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just calling you out, huh?
Who cares about fans? Fans don't know anything.
No, I'm saying, but it's the big amount of fans who cause all this. You're the one talking all this nonsense. This guy's got to play more. I'd like to see him play more. Dude, he can't stop a cold. What you want us to do? What you want us to do? Huh?
It's not to win basketball games for the Max. It's to entertain the masses. So I gotta say things that will bring attention. And look where we are.
We've got so much attention that Poppers is here.
Poppers had to come on.
He couldn't even wait till tomorrow.
That's a show.
He had to come tonight.
Mike
Poppers had to watch tonight. Huh?
Max Zakheim, and Zevi. So Max and Zevi, in my opinion, are one of the best backcourts in the country. But if Max and Zevi are running it, why don't the coaches or whoever the coach is, and I'm not saying this is a fan, pull him out, sub in a guy like Landau, sub in a guy like Effie, I know Effie's new, but he runs it really well, and say,
you know why Effie runs it really well?
Run it.
You know why Effie runs it really well? Because he spent a year and a half. Because he spent a year and a half learning it from the kid who ran it the best we've ever had.
He runs it amazingly. I love it.
And he doesn't even know what he's doing, and he runs it great. And I'll tell you how bad it is for Effie. Effie's first night, I'm watching him play. And he's doing exactly what we want him to do. Go back screen that guy. And the guy standing there looking at Effie like he just dropped a bomb on Hiroshima. Like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm standing out here 18 feet from the bucket. Dude, come over here. I'm trying to set you a screen. So the kid's being told, do this, and those guys at YU are going to do this. And he does that, and the guy at YU stands there holding his junk. Like, what would you like him to do? He's coming here to screen. Where the hell are you? But we got guys who just say, well, F it. I'm going to do whatever I want. No, it ain't about what you want. This is about we instead of me. And until then look, we're 8-3, regardless of what we're sitting there talking about. But I'm just saying, you want to win this thing always. I mean, from the first day, that's the first thing I told him when I met with him. The we has to be before the me. As soon as the me is before the we will no longer accomplish what we want to accomplish. We're not doing it.
One player does me before we, in my thoughts, he should be cut. And I don't care if that player is Ryan Turell. If Ryan Turell was playing on the thing and he did a me before we even once.
But Jack, there is something to what you're saying, but when you recruit a kid, you think, if this kid is in our system and he buys in, he's going to be great and we're going to be better.
Right.
And the problem is that sometimes the kid don't like that you're getting too much PR. And so we can't really see that. Look, this is why when I recruit, and I've been recruiting for 40 years. When I used to recruit, I would go to the game and I'd pay no attention to the game. I would watch how the guy reacts to his teammates, how he talks to his coaches, how he behaves on the bench. You take him out, is he slumping over? Is he screaming at coaches? Is he screaming at his teammates? Is he talking to his parents? In the middle of a game? Is he talking to some AAU coach in the middle of a game? Who wants that? Keep that out of your locker room. We've had great kids. We've talked about this before. We've had great kids who wanted to come to YU, and we had to say, no, you're going to kill our locker room. You're going to kill it. And we didn't do that with everybody, and we got killed. And we paid the price for it. And we paid a severe price for it. Because yes, sir. We underperformed because we put an atomic bomb in the middle of a field, and it just blew the whole big fat hole in the middle of the field. We were 1 year, we're 22, 23-1. And some guys in the locker room bitching about his playing time. And my respect, dude, we are 22-1. We're going to be the number one team in the country in 3 months. And you crying about what? Get out.
That guy should have been cut. If that ever happened, that guy should you just, it's like, when
don't worry, that guy COVIDed himself out of the program anyway. What'd you say?
Oh, so the guy ended up out of the program.
Yeah, because he's a douche. He was a douche when he was playing, and he was a douche after he was playing. I don't mind calling his ass out because he was a douche. Like,
did he not cut the net? Was he a player who didn't cut the net after a championship?
Oh, that wasn't him. He was also a little bit of a douche, but no, it was a different guy. It was a different. Well, I think only one guy didn't cut the net.
That was bad. I almost punched him. I almost wanted to.
If you're not in the team picture at the end of the year when you win a championship, you are never about the me. I mean the we. You've only about the me.
That's bad.
That's all you're about. You know what I mean? And so we've kind of made a commitment to no longer recruit guys like that. Like, we don't want guys like that. And if that means we're less talented than the other guy, no problem. We'll let Effie play. Because
I love Effie. I sold my
absolute monster. And every single thing Tamir told me about him over the last year and a half, he came here and did exactly what he said he was going to do. First of all, his work ethic to get where he is has been so outstanding, and he went to bed over at the Marines. It was a little much for him, and that's okay because it's the fourth game of his career. Yeah, and like that's going to happen. You're a freshman. We're going to have days like that. Let me say something about Max.
First off, he's probably the most talented point guard, like in terms of skill, ball handling, shooting, passing, whole package player. I think other than maybe Ryan, and I'm biased by saying Ryan, that I've seen in 8 years, he's so good. So let me just say that. Let
me say this. And we've made, I believe our move with Zevi has made Max much better because Max is in an attacking kind of a playmaking attacking position as opposed to come down here, set our stuff up, and get 6 points a game. Like, now we have Max playing off the ball a little bit and on the ball when Zevi's not in the game, but off the ball. And now we're getting ball reversals that when we're really good is when your point about the back cut. You made a point about, you argued that we were too big. And then you made a point. You said we're playing too many bigs, and then you made a point that the guy catching the back cut was too small. So I'm trying to figure out how does Jack's mind work? Because it makes zero sense to me. And here's the thing, Jack. He did hesitate on the layup. He did hesitate on it. And dude, I remember teaching the kid, and I'm not going to tell you the kid is because you know who he is. I'm teaching the kid, and he went to a particular camp. I'm not going to call that camp out. And he says, Coach, I was at this camp, and they told me, like, go down here, make this move, do this, make this move, make this move. What am I supposed to do if, like, I drive bucket, and then big 6'5" guy standing there in my way? What move do I make on him? And I'm looking at him, I go, really? And he goes, what? I go, really? That's your question for me? What move are you making? I just look at him and go, really? And he goes, what? Pass? And I go, duh. Really? Hey, pass the ball? Oh, crap. Oh, I could do that? Yeah, you could do that. That's what happens. You go to some of these skills camps or whatever camps, and they start giving you 1,000 moves. A lot of them are just nonsense between the legs going. There's a phenomenal video of Kobe Bryant. It's about a minute. And he goes off. He goes, you got all these coaches got you dribbling 2 or 3 balls at the same time, 5 dribbles in the same spot. He said, you want to play? Learn how to play off the ball. Get a curl. Learn how to play off a down screen. Learn how to play off it's coming out of Kobe's mouth. He's like, all that silliness your coach has got you with multiple balls going around cones and stuff. Nah. Kobe's like that. You ain't gonna do nothing with that. And like, there's a lot of things. When I watch kids walk in the gym, and this why I try to get really early to basketball games when I'm going to scout or watch a kid play or a team play, because the kids who walk in the gym and the first thing they do is jack a 3. I know those kids have no chance of playing in college. None. They're like, if they play, they're going to be minimal at best. They don't go form shoot. They don't go work their way back. Like the greatest shooter in the world learned from his dad. When you walk in the gym, you start at the rim and you work around and you work around and you work around. And Steph Curry's first 15 minutes is at the rim, and kids don't get that. They think like this stuff happens by accident. It happens with hard work, and everything we're talking about here is hard work. And the offense is hard. It's difficult to learn, but it's difficult to master. It's relatively easy to learn, but you have to be patient and know that you're not going to fix it in day one. Rome's not built like that. So I'm defending it in the sense that everybody's a critic of it, but what they fail to understand is you have to run it, Jack. You can't not run it and then say, well, we're not running it, so let's play guys who aren't going to run it and run whatever they're going to run better. What? No. And look, as a rule, we're not really adverse to the ball screen if it happens through our movement.
Right.
I've had teams that, I'm going to screen for you, right? So let's say I go screen away. I mean, there's plenty of options, but one of the options is so I go screen away, but the ball gets reversed to you. If I'm standing there, instead of me just pulling away now, once I'm there, just screen that.
I don't know. I think
I don't have a problem. We don't have a problem with that ball screen. We have a problem with, like, you catch it, you bring that guy behind you. What the, or you're going to let me come out here and go get you.
I agree with you. And I agree. Everything you're saying is just accentuated, and you've shown your knowledge and proven on this forum that the motion is the right way and the 8-3 speaks for itself. But I think where my thought is, and it's a half-cooked kind of thought, but it's also a thought. Like, and a good example would be Greg Popovich ran a specific offense that was very successful in the late 90s into the early 2010s. He won 3 championships and then realized my personnel is not matching up with this offense, right? He started to get the league started to speed up. He got quicker guards, and he changed the way that they played. Now, I'm not saying that that's what this team needs to do, and you're making a good point to freshmen. What I'm worried about is, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm worried about.
He lacked the talent. Jack,
is it possible?
Jack, I guarantee you that when he gets that talent, he's trying to get that talent back. I mean, he had the best power forward in the world playing for him, so he could build it. He had I remember calling my brother. I was watching San Diego State play, and nobody knows right now why I'm bringing up San Diego State. Who has any idea why?
Kawhi Leonard went to
Correct. I'm watching him play, and I say to my brother, "Yo, I'm watching this dude with these hands on him, like nobody know." I'm telling you, it's like 1 a.m, and I'm like, "Are you awake?" He's a rabbi or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, I'm awake." I'm like, "I'm watching this dude. He is unbelievable." Unbelievable. Wait till you get a load of him. Is he going to be in the NBA? I said, I don't know who's going to draft him because he can't shoot worth a lick. But this dude right here is going to be a stud. I'm telling you. So they ended up getting drafted. And as he got better, they got better. So you're talking about, and then the reason they fell off that cliff was because he was no longer playing for them. Like he just decided, like when Tim leaves, you still have a chance with Kawhi Leonard. When Kawhi Leonard leaves and you bring in DeMar DeRozan, good luck with that.
Good luck.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
A 15-foot range shooter, like who doesn't have that skill set. I like DeRozan, but I don't love him.
He's not a one. He's a three.
No,
A third option.
So the talent changed, and while Pop still ran some of that. By the way, Golden State's still running it.
Golden State runs motion. I know. Golden State runs motion.
We're still running Popovich's stuff that he brought from Division III.
Yeah. And his stuff is
as I've said before, the least creative league in the world is the NBA. They just have they steal from everybody. That's what they've always done.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's a fact. And the NBA is about entertainment. They're fighting for your entertainment dollar. They're fighting streaming services. They're fighting movie theaters. They're fighting, TMZ. They cannot survive with the product. The product is an entertainment product, and that's why there's always girls in tight shorts over there at games, because it's an entertainment product.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that. It's one thing to have cheer. You have dance teams now. Like, dude, you're fighting for an entertainment dollar. That's what they are.
You swung me. I was wrong the other night. I'm swung.
You're the easiest guy in the world, dude. Because I can't wait for 2 weeks from now when you start telling me we got to run, the triangle.
Oh, I love the triangle. Don't get me started on the triangle. I'm a big Tex winner.
Right there, yo, just holding up my computer right here. Everybody see what this says? I think I've showed this before. It's Tex winner, the triple post offense. Ever see that?
Yeah.
Can you see that? That's holding up the kind of books I have here. I got Claire B man-to-man attack. I got Nat Holman. These are the book Pete Newell. These are the books that are holding up my laptop right now. This is a potpourri of information, including Cliff Ellis's presses in the full court, which actually rightfully should be holding up.
I have a question for you we're on the same page. You've swung me, but when a team presses us and then we eventually come up the court.
First of all, I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, but say it for the people.
We don't have time for 2 ball reversals.
You do.
Where are we?
And that's what you want. You do. Check out my Instagram, because I don't Instagram a lot, but there's one thing in there where we get a corner jump shot from Ryan, and it went from Eitan to Tyler to like Sim to Donnie. They weren't all
read
the same
those names. Did you
Coach,
you want to say those 5
the,
names again? Do you want to say those 5 names again?
Ryan, Sim, Eitan,
Donnie, and Tyler. Those boys aren't walking through that door.
That's right. Hold on now. Let me defend them. When they were all freshmen, they couldn't have done what they did in that clip. Okay?
Donnie as a freshman was pretty sharp.
Donnie as a freshman was pretty sharp, but it took him 6 games to get off the bench and really play. You know what I mean? Sim got like the golden ticket, so he was playing right away. But Sim wasn't running this all that great.
No.
And it wasn't until his sophomore year where he just exploded in this offense. And that makes sense because he was a freshman. And not only that, but that whole team was learning that year. Mike and Jordan and Tal and Mike and Dean, everybody was learning. Judah, everybody was learning this offense. And then that sophomore year,
you have that clip of them being able to reverse it in 16 seconds in a short amount of time.
There's no doubt you can do that. The difference is you think I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna hand it, dribble, 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 reverse it, dribble, dribble. No, that's not how you do it. Like, here's the thing: when the ball comes from the right to the from the right side and reverses it to the top, that top can't go back to the right side because you've done nothing to the defense. Get the ball, bring it back to the left side. There's some, because you say, well, that guy's coming off of that screen. So he's, well, there's a guy coming off this screen on the other side too. Either the screener, or the guy coming off the screen. So somebody's on the other side. If not, we do a poor job of balancing the floor. That's our fault. Dribble over. But don't stand over here and get it and then come right back to it 5 feet away from you. What point is that? That was our problem at the Marines, and that was our not as much at the Marines, and that was definitely our problem in the first half the other night. But if you get it and you reverse it, and you get it back and reverse it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 12 seconds max. If you do it right, you're talking about some, and by the way, 26 seconds would have 16 seconds would have been 14 seconds into a violation. So I know what you're trying to say. They did run that. And by the way, I'm not an advocate of taking the ball in the press and just going back and forth east to west. We're playing north to south. My team last night saw a very similar press. Where it was a 2-2-1. You guys watch that, right? It was a 2-2-1. We got layups at the end of it.
Key school, yeah.
Once we started to attack it, we got layups on it, and those we stopped. We didn't do that right away because we're walking up the floor. And I actually told them at the quarter, I think it was the quarter, maybe they called a timeout. And I said, how long do you have it in the backcourt? And they said 10. Actually, Yaakov Meister said, I think it's 10. Is it 10? Yeah, okay. So that was the exact quote. It's 10. So I said, you get 5 out of bounds, you get 10 in the backcourt, we can get a layup after that. Just be patient. And the problem that we have is we go east to west instead of going north to south, and we settle. So now we're at 20 seconds, or now we're at 16 seconds. And even with that, Jack, we can still get whatever we want. Listen, it's what I tell my guys all the time. My guys will be surprised because I haven't said it in a long time. But anything you want on the basketball floor is on the other side of ball reversal. That's where it is. And anything you want on the basketball floor is at the other side of stops. What you and like the number one message I give them is you could get anything you want in life and on the basketball court, provided that you help somebody else get what they want. And that is the lesson of basketball. You can get anything you want in life, provided you're helping somebody else get what they want. And you can get anything you want on the basketball floor, provided you're helping somebody else get what they want. That's a fact.
That's what's up.
It is what's up. And so all this other stuff, all this other stuff, it's all subterfuge, Jack. Fact is, if you reverse the basketball. And by the way, Jack, I'll take 50%. Just give me one ball reversal to start. You know what I mean? Like, let's just do that. Let's get 150%. We'll take 50% possessions. Like we're what's that number? Just the old Westbury number. What was that? 50 pot? It's like 50% with one ball reversal.
50,
7
54.
13 against old Westbury. 7 for 13. Now I think you got to do better than that. So two. I mean, it's always been my thing. It's where I don't want to say I parted ways with Coach, but I'm a big guy into the 2 count, hold for a 2 count. I agree. I believe with that. But for this generation and the way that the game spread out outside the line, 2 of the adjustments I made, like I wanted everybody outside the 3 when they cleared on cuts. And we're going to take quick ball reversal, if it's there, supersedes the 2 count. You understand what I mean? Yeah. You understand what I mean? If we would have Ryan posting up. There's a phenomenal possession. It's somewhere in archives where Donnie's on the top and reverses it to the right. And Ryan's got some little on him in the paint. And you see Donnie kind of clapping. I think it's Sim or Gay. Kind of clapping, like, reverse it back to me. Like, come on. And as soon as he gets it, he throws it up in the air to Ryan for a layup. You know what I mean? Like he sees it. It wasn't there from his angle. You get it? So then we're going to try to get it from over there. But then Ryan had posted them up in a way where you couldn't entry that without putting the kid back on Ryan's, between the basket. So instead, Donnie's like, just claps his hands, and they were so good at this that Ryan kept his post position and Donnie put it up. It's just a brilliant play. It's a brilliant execution. It's brilliant recognition. And that's what happens when your freshmen grow up in this. And that's the point. And I've talked to Max about, I love how Max is playing right now. I love it. And I get all this stuff. You can be highly successful in this offense with a couple ball dominant guards without having to dribble the thing through the air out of the thing. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need Max to just pound it on the ground. There will be times we ask Max to do that. We need the ball to just move. Just make things difficult for people. Cut, screen, get wide. Stop getting on the lane line and crowding everything.
Coach,
you know what I mean?
I think to enhance your point, you're not saying that you're against Max doing dribble penetration. You just want that. You just want it off a closeout instead of just.
Yeah, pretty much. Like to go down the Max and I have talked about this. It's not new for anybody, even Zebby, to go down the middle of the paint, beginning your possession. It's just not there. I mean, it may be there against some team that's crap, but then you get used to that. You're going to get killed when you go to Wesleyan or when you go to IWU or when you go to
Middlebury,
Nebraska, Wesleyan, wherever, Middlebury. Yeah, those teams aren't going to give you middle penetration like that. That's not going to happen. Right. So you have to wait and work through it, and you have to do that. And we will do that. This team's going to be great. And one day, Jack, you're going to get on here and apologize that nonsense ever came out of your mouth.
I will never apologize for an opinion. However, I will admit where I am wrong. I'm never going to apologize for challenging something that I have a question about. I will never.
You can challenge it. It's not a problem. But just don't be.
Coach always going to win.
Don't expect not to get slapped back.
This is why we have this, right? It's for a discussion. Yeah. It's how we hammer out truth.
I mean, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. I'm glad the Adler guy's on that thing because he gave you guys some semblance of, but like the whole lineup idea, you have to cover homer it, Jack. You have to say, like, you know what? If I've thought about this, there's no way they haven't thought about it.
Yeah.
We thought about it a million times. And by the way, the lineup that we liked the most a couple of years back was the one that started in the NCAA tournament game, which was Ryan, Gabe, Donnie, Ofek, and Eitan. No, I'm sorry.
It was Ryan, Gabe,
Donnie, Simcha, and Eitan. And then we loved Ofek coming in for Eitan because then he was playing with all three passers like that. And Sim, who was really a good passer. So we love that. But that starting lineup was so they had all been through the highs of winning and the lows of losing. And they were mature and they understood how to play and they understood what we went through and they understood the process and they understood that. I remember, I think it's Pop does an interview on Donnie and Sim senior night. And somebody said, I think it was Simcha who said it's a very hard learning curve. Isn't that what he said to you,
Yeah,
Pop?
the game against Long Island, yeah.
There's a very hard learning curve, but once we get it, once the guys get it, it is why we play the way we play. But it's difficult to learn, and there's a long curve. But by their sophomore year, somewhere in the middle of January or December of next year, a lot of this stuff's going to kick in with a lot of these guys, and then you're going to really see us play. And I'm excited. Like I said, I think 8-3 is a problem more than it was a help from the standpoint of, well, why aren't we 9-2 or why? You know what I mean? Like we're way ahead of schedule. If you ask me, I said that to somebody last night. I told it to you guys. Like we're way ahead of schedule. Like I didn't think we'd be 8-3, even in this league. I didn't think so. Mm-hmm. I thought we were going to struggle more. So. And then it was a tough out of conference schedule. That's why when you play as poorly as we did in the first half the other night, and you're still playing, I believe that's because we had a good out of conference schedule because we had to play good teams. And by the way, we beat Mary Washington. We had Illinois Wesleyan at the buzzer. You know what I mean? Like we beat good teams.
Yeah.
We,
The thing is,
Matt's gonna get hurt. Who knows?
yeah, I actually think about the Illinois Wesleyan game though, because like beginning of the season, if you played them later on, you think it could have been different?
Not in our favor.
Teams get stronger as time goes on.
Yeah, but I don't know if that would have helped. Like they have a lot of upperclassmen, so they're going to get kind of they're going to get more engrossed is a word, or more. I think that's the word. They're just going to get deeper into their experience, and we're still trying to figure it out.
Right.
So if we play them in January, we may get our doors blown out. Now we may play with them.
Yeah, and coach, we had Wesleyan beat also Connecticut, and that's that was a NESCAC team which had won 8 games in a row coming in.
Yeah, that was a game we threw away. I agree, Pop.
No question about it. That's my point. My point is like, and we're coming off a break with that, and I'm saying my point is, we're really doing what we should be doing. This is the growth process that we have to go through. And I'm going to defend what we do because, we're doing it at an 85% winning percentage or something like that. Like I don't know what everybody expects. And that's after sitting here with 10 losses this year or whatever it is. Like I'm not sure what everybody expects. Like we're Yeshiva University. We're not Duke. You know what I mean? We're not even.
Expecting Duke. We're expecting once you submit a standard of
you just have to be patient, but it does come with
patience is key.
When you submit a standard of excellence for Jews, specifically this culture, when you submit a standard for excellence, we expect excellence.
Hold on now. Not submit it, create it.
Create it.
That's right. Let's be clear, because we didn't inherit it from nobody. We had to do it from the ground up.
It's not a fair expectation, but YU's basketball program and the program.
But it's an expectation that we knew. But see, the difference with me and everybody else is that Elliot and I knew this was going to happen 7 years ago. We knew this expectation was going to be here because, he wanted it. I wanted to help him get it.
You said it to me all the time. I remember.
I told you when you were still calling games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, coach, and I'm like, dude, just wait.
Yeah, I questioned it a little bit.
Yeah, but that's the same thing I'm saying right now. Like, just wait. Like, we just have to wait. Because I'm telling you, in a year from now, we're going to look back at this, and we should. And one of us is going to look really stupid here, Jack. It's either going to be me or you.
I think I look smart because I played both sides. So no matter what, I end up on top.
I may be the horse's ass, but whatever. I'll live with it.
I conceded that you were right and the motion looks good. So instead of the motion looks great and we're winning national championships, I look like a humbled, intelligent person for listening to someone smarter. And then if it blows up, I could always say, hey, this is what I was saying the whole time.
I was right.
Well, I have 2 sides.
Ah, man, I should have listened to Jack Turell.
Coach.
I should have listened to the actor. Yeah. I should have listened to the actor.
The actor, yeah, exactly.
Coach, while we're on the topic of
in all seriousness, this is why we have a discussion. I think when I say the things I said, I'm more saying it on the idea and the voice of the fans that are watching and having a discussion like this.
I get it. So right.
And you are right that we just need to be patient. This motion.
Understand, so Jack. But listen. Let me put this caveat here too. We patient as we want. We could be like waiting forever, but we ain't gonna win no games 90-85.
No.
There's only so many of them you're going to win a year. You better get stops and go look at some of those teams. We're in the top 50 in defensive field goal percentage basically every year. We were someplace in the neighborhood of that. It's hard because of the way we play. We're going to give up some possessions, and we're going to give up. When we're up 30, we're going to give up 15 points with a group of kids who can't hold that lead. You know what I mean? So that team's going to go 7 for 7 and mess with your shooting percentage. But it all kind of irons out. And I thought the one thing that got overlooked, as I've said before, and Elliot said before, is how well we were playing defensively in the NCAA tournament in the COVID year. Like, we weren't playing that well defensively in the York year, right? But in the COVID year, I put us up against anybody that year. That was peak performance at the right time. And, even Macon, I was looking forward to that. So, what were you going to say, Oren?
Well, I was going to say, since we're on the topic of apologies, how many apology texts did I send you about Effie?
Yeah, that's probably true. Because I think you want to give some background on this.
Well, let me
I gotta get the receipts. I gotta get the receipts.
Let me say first off, I'm someone who usually has a good handle on Jewish high school basketball talent. I've been tracking Jewish high school basketball players all over the country for years, and I just never knew who Effie was. And you obviously had a handle on him, and I think the average viewer is just curious to know, how did this person all of a sudden go to Torah Traga for a year and a half, and how did the involvement with Tamir get going? I think people want to know how it all started.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Coach, you want me to pull up some receipts here about what Oren said?
Go ahead, Pop.
Yeah, please.
All right, I'm still
Jack
not
got his
getting
walk of shame. Now it's my turn.
All right, yeah, it's not as bad as Jack's. I'm still not getting the everything. Can you contextualize more, please, and thank you? Just seems odd having a player on this roster who wasn't even so influential in high school. And then Coach taught you a lesson.
Apology start. Yeah. I think Elliot sent it to me. He sent film of him just playing with Yeshiva guys in Israel. And I'm like, what is this? He says, this is a friend of Zevi's. Zevi's like, Coach, you need to look at him. And it's like your basic Yeshiva game. He's like in sweatpants with a white t-shirt. And there's just something about him. I'm like, Elliot, we just need to pay attention to this one here. If he's interested, let's send him to Tamir. That's pretty much how this happened. So I reached out to Tamir, and I think Rabbi Freundlich called me first or something. And he's like, if he really would like to play, you think you can hook him up? So I hooked him up with Elliot, and I had him talk to Elliot. And then we talked to Tamir, and he kind of made it his business to he worked on his jump shot. He worked on his understanding of how to cut. He didn't know how to cut. So he didn't know a basic curl or a straight cut or, how to set a back screen or a down screen or a flare screen. He didn't know any of that. By the time he got to us, he was familiar with everything we do. He just wasn't familiar with how we do it. And now in defensively, you could just tell he's still learning, and he makes mistakes, and he covers a lot of his mistakes up with the things.
But he's willing to learn. That's what's so great about him.
No question about it. And Tamir had said something to me. I want to say, excuse me 1 second. I want to say it was maybe 4 or 5 months in, and he said he has this incredible ability to affect jump shooters' 3-point shots. Like he can get to them without fouling, as we saw last week. You know what I mean? Or 2 weeks ago, when he blocked those 2 threes on the perimeter.
But Coach, even when he's not blocking it, his hands getting so high up, he's blocking the guy's view of the rim.
He's like, and people don't kind of understand the kind of bounce he has going on. Wait till you get him in the open floor and he has the stones to go up and do what he has the ability to do. That
he can windmill for easily.
Coach, do you think he's like a once in a blue moon type player? Do you envision like other players who are under the radar in high school that can have a similar path as he's had?
No, it really depends on how much you're willing to work. It really does. Like you're going to Yeshiva to learn, but on your free time, are you going to Ghana Pomon, or you're going to a gym to work?
Right. I was going to say Ben Yehuda, but yeah. That works too.
No, for sure, Ben Yehuda. That was, like that. Like that's kind of the like. What are you going to Israel to do? You're going to learn Torah, and if you want it, if your plans after Israel to play basketball somewhere, you got to get in the gym and work. There's just no excuse for that. And Tamir does it at 6 a.m. So you have to get up early and do it. Like his kind of thing is, you're gonna have to get up early with this group here. Like it ain't 2 o'clock in the afternoon practice. You're gonna be practicing at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So there are going to be some kids under the radar, but not as far under the radar as Effie, I don't think.
Yeah.
Just because, it was a COVID year and they got hurt. So it was just like a perfect storm of nothingness. And then we kind of found this diamond in the rough. There's a couple more we know about. We're just not talking about.
Yeah.
But we know about them, and if we know about them, I don't know how under the radar they are, but we know about them, and we're looking forward to getting a chance to coach them, I guess.
Yeah.
He's just a very special kid and a very special talent with a great family. Just really enjoy them very much.
Yeah.
And
it's a good addition for the Five Towns.
Well, yeah, of course.
Mhm.
But it's also a good addition to the basketball program. And some guy's time is going to get clipped because of Effie.
Yeah.
Effie going to press for time. He's going to press every one of them cats for time.
It's
all them kids.
Yeah. It's actually it's actually the Oren Glickman tournament this weekend in Montreal. So maybe they should have had him as a scholar in residence.
I'm not really sure I know what that means, but
it's the JV tournament. They're JV.
Show you how deep into high school basketball you are in the Jewish world. You're talking about a tournament in Canada on the JV level.
I know. God help me, right?
We saw on the varsity level what happens when you send Maryland schools to Canada, right?
But bet the Philly got back. JDS, I think they were stuck for 2
Another Israeli school won. What was her name? Yeah. Like Leo Barak, something like that.
One of them kids we need to pay attention. He's pretty good.
It's a good segue and now into our next topic, and which Pop and I will enjoy talking about. Your team.
My guys will enjoy that you're talking about.
I promised him when I saw him last Shabbos, I'd give him a shout out on the next episode. So, John Rosen, how you doing? It was great to finally meet you last week.
You knew last week that John had a broken finger?
I saw it. Yeah.
We hadn't played in a couple weeks, and again, you're coming off a 2-week break. It's a tough thing. So I knew we were going to be a little bit. We're going to struggle on the offensive end, as you saw early. Like you got to get 2 things. One, we got to get used to playing without John, who basically plays every minute. Like he's like.
He rarely sat at Satrin.
Yeah, he doesn't really sit
if ever.
Because doesn't get in foul. So I try to give him breaks at the end of quarters and stuff, but I'm getting in foul trouble very much, boy, Ironheart. I'm getting in foul trouble, and we have great spurtability when he's on the floor, and when he gets going, he could go 8 or 9 of them before you blink your eyes, and all of a sudden you're down 20 because John's just popping 25 and a half or something like that. So we try not to play without him now. So we had that issue. We had to learn how to play without him. Guys were all coming home from vacation. The first day back in school was yesterday. We couldn't practice on Tuesday because everybody was the ones that 2 guys were in the Bahamas, another guy's in Florida, another guy's in Israel. I'd rather just have a bunch of poor folk like me when I was a kid. I'm at Tioga Park. Come get me when we're going to practice. Well, like that with these guys. So that was our first issue. Second issue was we're not playing with him and then playing off a break. I just want to survive the half. But the one thing is, if you can defend, you can compete. And this was the first time I thought,
Yeah, you mentioned us
Probably,
last night. This was like the first real defensive intensity effort that you saw from your guys.
yeah, well, this is the first one in a while. We were really good early in the year. Like we got after it and and then I don't know if it's complacency or laziness, whatever it was. And then I think I thought we were pretty good at the Sachin tournament the first night with Ramaz. Not great, but pretty good. And then we just fouled them back into oblivion so that, they were basically dead and we fouled them back into the game. And then Friday's Donnie, whatever. That was okay. I don't think we guarded very well that day. Very small gym. So, and then Saturday night, the Frisch debacle. I thought we guarded really well in the first half, and then totally fell apart. So, and we never really recovered. And I don't think we recovered until last time we played on Monday Tuesday, the 19th of January. I think was the last time we played.
That was
The
a loss
second
against Park, right?
No, we had lost to them and didn't defend worth a lick. And Donnie Oken said he likes when I talk about him. Well, if Dio doesn't reach all the time in that game, or give this kid 10 feet to just shoot whatever he wants, not sure it ends up the way it did. But we lost, and Donnie got better for it, and has a phenomenal year so far. I believe it's because he daven's Shmona Esrei Shachris Ben Chomar, but he could believe whatever he wants while he's doing it. but and then we weren't playing very well at Covenant Life at all. We just were lazy. Everything about it was bad, the whole first half. So to be down 10 that day and go at the half, and well, we're lucky to, and then we kind of had a pretty good second half. I thought we started to defend there. So you're going into break with a really good feeling about where you are defensively. And then I thought we tapped into something that we didn't have for a couple of weeks. The Frisch game is really hard to recover from. Like really. It's hard because
you still have to play a few more tournament games, and
it's
you
really
kind of just don't
hard.
want to play anymore after a loss like that.
No, you really don't. And like I told him in the locker room, news to me, like I told you guys last time, I don't know what to do. I've never lost the 19-point lead before. Teach me. We're going to have to work through this together. And I think we've done that. And it's one of the harder things I think I've ever had to do in coaching is to get a team back to playing the way we want to play on a defensive end. So yesterday I thought it didn't matter who we played on our schedule yesterday. Whoever we played on our schedule would have been for a tough night. Now, would we have won all those? I'm not so sure, but I'm not sure we would have lost them either. Because like there's one particular possession. First of all, the entire night, Donnie Carter was just unreal on the defensive end. Everything, he just did everything. We needed to stop that little kid from middle penetration. We just put Donnie on. We need to stop the post guy, put Donnie on. Like there's a great possession in the beginning of the second half, first possession where we're fronting the post and they go, what they do is they cross screen for the other post and they bring him across. And the communication between Donnie and Grandma was so great. And Donnie, they switched it and Donnie stayed in the front and Grandma came from up top and took care of the 6'5", 6'6" kid. And that I was really proud of him because it's hard to play after break. So I thought if we can get through halftime, we would kind of get our legs together and we probably, what do we have, a 32-point half or something? Yeah. And we started off the half slow too. Like I don't think we really get control of the quarter until Donnie Oken's jump shot. I think he hit a 3 with like 3 minutes to go in the quarter. And then we just kind of took over defensively a little bit. And then I thought we started to score off our defense and you started to see more ball reversals because we weren't doing that very well. I was so mad about what we were doing at YU on Tuesday, Tuesday night, that it just carried over. I told Elliot, just carried over to my guys on Wednesday. I was so mad. Like they were the ones who didn't reverse it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I was like, one more. I don't know if you heard me, but it's like one more, just throw to one more. It's there, it's wide open. And we were going to get whatever we want. The best things in basketball on the other side of ball reversal. That's just a fact. And like we were going to get it, we just have to do it. And once we started to do it, we do become hard to guard a little bit, even without John. It's almost like I hate saying this because I don't want to play without him, but it's almost like we need to learn to do that, because if it gets to John, he could just bail us out. You know what I mean?
That's a real thing, Coach.
Yeah, it's a real test of mental strength, And
we want him to shoot it too. We're reversing to him to shoot it. But now John gets to see shots are going to be a little more open. If you just wait 5-10 seconds and reverse it one more time, you're going to get it back, and there's going to be nobody around you. And if he's uncontested, I like my chances. That's, And I thought Jakob Meister actually played really well. So it was a great effort. Avi Friedman was really good on defense. Really good. I'm not a fan of missed layups, but as you see, we're doing better in those two categories. I think last night we were 12 for 18 from the free throw line, only because Avi went 1 for 3, or 13 for 18 maybe. We took it to heart. That's all we've been doing. I think this is the other point about the freshmen we have playing in college. Our guys, my team now, that's run some of this for multiple years, we don't need to run motion. They want to run motion in practice because they get to just go, and get up and down and play man to man, and we get to play against our defense, which is difficult to play against. And at least we think so.
And there were probably some gaps in the motion when they first started playing together.
What do you mean?
It's talking about like the evolution of a team, playing in an offense together,
Yeah, but right. So what I'm saying is they've done this this group has pretty much been together with as long as Meister's been here. They've been together for 2 years now. And when Grandma started to pick up on it and Dio started to pick up on it, we just took it to a whole nother level. And now we could go 2 weeks without playing and we'll get good shots. We just may not make them. You know what I mean by that? Like you just haven't played in 2 weeks.
Coach, you couldn't make a shot last night. You're still in by 20.
I mean, we get a phenomenal back screen for Andrew and he missed the layup. Dio left a couple early at the rim. I mean, we just, it's what happens. Avi missed a couple early. Like it is what happens when you have to get your legs again. And I think, once the second half came, we were much better. And that's what I'm saying. We don't need. They could just get on the floor. This is a great story. I had a kid who played for me. He played with Tamir's brother for me. So I guess he graduates, I want to say 90, 93, 94, something like that. 94 maybe. I'm not trying to remember the year, or maybe 92. I don't know what the year, whatever the hell the year is. It's like 93 maybe. He's okay. There's a lot of coaches in America, right? They all have doctors and lawyers and stuff. I have them. You know what else I got? I have the only elucidator in Art Scroll. Masechtas Midos, if you get the Art Scroll, is Rabbi Yoav Ilan, who did that. Rabbi Yoav Ilan was a 3-year starter for me. So I'm the only coach in America I want to argue because I see all the elucidators. I get this book and has all of them. And the only one in there I'm thinking who played high school basketball was Yoav, and he played for me. So I'm the only one who has an Art Scroll elucidator on my team. And he wrote a book on the second base of Midas. He dropped it at my house. It was really awesome. So I see him at the JCC one Sunday morning. We're practicing, and he was like working out, just trying to, and he wanted to come in and shoot a little bit. And I'm like, yo, we need a guy. He used to call him Yo of his Yo. So I said, yo, we need a guy if you want to come in here. And I mean, he came in and ran our offense like he'd been running. He hadn't run it in 20 years. And he ran it like he didn't miss a beat. Like our team could run with him. And they're like, Coach, who is this? I said, well, he ran this. He knows what he's doing. And it's because it's all about understanding how to play. That's all this is about. We teach you a way to play. It's not I don't know where Jack went, but it's not an ideology. It's a way to play. Like it's
Coach, he thought the lesson was over.
He did. So I'm like, it's not an ideology. It's like, this is how you play. You give a man a fish, right? Eats for a day, teach him how to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. Teach a man a play, he can run that play. Teach a man how to play, he can run anything. And here comes Yoav. I guarantee if I brought Tamir, and I know it's Tamir, but any of Tamir's teammates, if I brought them into my gym, they could run reps with my current team right now. And I know these guys in 20 years from now, God, if I'm still coaching, I need to get shot. But even 10 years from now, they can walk. Listen, you have guys on my team, not talent-wise, but who can walk into the YU gym and execute our offense right now. With those guys, not miss a beat.
Really?
They wouldn't miss a beat. They'd probably be better at it than some of them. I know they'd be better than some of them, but I'm like, they get right in there and be able to play. They wouldn't even.
They wouldn't be phased by the. They wouldn't be phased by the moment at all.
They would be phased by playing in college, and everybody's bigger, stronger, faster, and better. But running our stuff, no, they get right in there and they'd be able to screen, read. John Rosen, it reminds me a little bit of Sim in a way because he understands movement. He understands how to set up his man for the screen and the cut. He understands screening. Doesn't always do it to my liking, but he understands all that. You could put him in our system today, and he could score points for us on Saturday night. Well, if he was healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could just put him in there. I don't know if he can guard, but that just makes him one of 15 guys on our team. Like he could run our stuff. He's not going to reverse it. He's not going to back cut. He's not going to back screen. He's not going to not down screen. He's not going to not flare screen. He knows how to come off of all those. And if you give him an open look, and that's all you want from a guy like that. So I'm saying you could, like, we're the only two teams kind of running it, probably in America.
Yeah.
Until
Bellarmine's as similar as you get, but
who's that? Bellarmine?
Bellarmine, yeah, but they're more pass oriented. And then obviously Tobin, but
yeah, but Tobin's is different because it's a little more perimeter.
Yeah.
I mean, penetration centric, but yeah, my guys are plug and play. You could take DL and plug him in. He'd get a bucket or two.
I think that's what makes you guys so unpredictable, by the way, and in a good way.
I mean, we don't know where we're going. How are you going to know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same thing. And that's my point to Jack. Like, if you tell me you're going to run this play, all right, you run this play. We'll take something away from it. If you give me, I just want a chance to prepare for you. So if you're going to run a play, we're going to watch you, and then we'll figure it out and how we're going to defend it. But like, if I don't know where we're going, how are you going to know where we're going? Like, every possession we have looks different. Is that what you meant by our unpredictability, or the fact that we don't make layups?
I was gonna approach the playoff. I was gonna approach the layup controversy.
Coach, what are your thoughts on team switching everything, which seems to be like very common, and how that applies with, like, you don't know where we're going, but like we'll just switch everything.
Okay, good.
Kind of exploiting that.
Because we play against the switch every day. So, that's the other thing about John. Like, if you switch John, he'll slip you. Like that. Like, that's what I'm talking about guys understand. Like, they've done it long enough. Some guys won't. Dio will just run through it. He knows. I get mad at him because he doesn't slip him. He's gotten much better at it. Grandma's gotten better at it. DC's gotten a lot better at it. And John's always been good at it. And Jaco Meister's probably the most improved guy at it. So we see switches. We get them. We get them. We switch in practice. So we see switches a lot. And we understand what works and what doesn't work. I mean, teams that switch, like teams used to do that with us with Gabriel and Ryan. So we purposely put them in an 8-ton switch, or if it was somebody checking OFAC, we'd have OFAC down screen for Gabe. You want to switch it? Go ahead. Mouse in the house, brother. Like, that's what's up. And that and you'll hear that when we play. Like, guys will switch, and you'll hear our guys from the bench just scream mouse in the house. And we could put 3 different guys in there successfully. Donnie Carter, Grandma, and Dio go in there and But if we get like little mice like you, Pop, we just try to take advantage of that. You want to switch?
I can bring it on the defensive end, though.
Hey,
Coach,
Pop.
you know.
Pop had some great defensive pressure on Ryan at a practice. I remember that was.
Illinois Wesleyan game. Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob Coolman.
Leading up to the IW game.
Really? Was Ryan
Yeah.
blindfolded? Did he take
Did
you
you
in
have
the
to ask
post?
Ryan about that one? I don't know.
Did he
Yeah.
take you in the post, or did he stay on the perimeter?
He stayed on the perimeter, but I didn't let him. I made him go baseline. You know.
He stood his ground.
Pop, stop.
All right, moving on.
Just don't.
You know,
We're
something
not-
we always
we
something
have no buyers on this side of the aisle here. What'd you say?
something we always shower your team with praise for are the charges. You know, there's just something about their mental toughness.
Well, we got to be a little tougher, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just like the type of charges that you take compared to the ones that I normally see in the Yeshiva League. Do you think there's a big disparity there?
Well, like Jakob Meister took one yesterday on that big 6'6". Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
The kid turned around. He took two of them actually.
Yeah.
And he turned around the post, and you know.
How often do you guys practice those in-game type situations?
Well, we practice charges every day. It's built into what we're doing. Like what we're doing. I mean, high school coaches want to sit through an hour and a half to get this information, so be it. But it's built into what we do. We play that way. So if you want to come in here, you know, first time shame on us, second time shame on you, right?
Yeah.
So
Familiar with that saying.
there were a couple they didn't call last night. That's what that halftime discussion was about, by the way. The couple they didn't call last night. I'm just kind of like, you know, those are charges, even if we're in the county, you know, like we're playing in the city. That charged in the county should be charged in the city.
Yeah.
So he would tell me he didn't know what rules we were playing. That was just crap. All you have to tell me is you kicked the call, which he did the first time. He missed one on Avi Friedman, took it and he missed it. And he said to me, "Oh, it might have been Dio. Dio took it and early in the game and he didn't call it. And there was bodies laying on the ground. And then he told me he kicked it. And then he didn't call the one on Avi. He might have been right about that flop. I'm not really sure. Avi tends to cheat it a little bit. Not all the time. Avi's usually pretty good at it.
That was a flop, Coach.
Yeah, but he didn't call it. So then he, you know, in the MIA,
no calls.
If you're flopping in Maryland, they give you a tech, and you know it's a personal foul. It's a tech, and then I think you get the ball too. It's one shot in the ball, maybe.
Class B, yeah.
So, but the rest of them are legit. We work on it every day, and if we're not taking them, we're not defending. That was part of our problem, Pop. We didn't get a lot of them, which means that we were allowing dribble penetration, we're allowing middle. You know what I mean? Like if we're allowing middle and we're not getting charges on it, and we're not standing there taking them, we're gonna get our face kicked in. And I think early in the first game we were getting them right. In the second half, we didn't get. I still haven't watched.
You didn't have many half-court defensive possessions because every single possession on your end was just a turnover for a bucket.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Let me close this out so I don't get bothered. That's a fact. That's true. That's what happened. It was all.
They were getting points in transition. You guys weren't getting points in transition.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you live and you learn. I think it's going to make us better, but there's no, like, we're I thought I just closed that messages out. What's going on here? Huh? How does this work, guys? If I close out messages, sure. You hear these guys clicking at me? Shut up. There you go.
Also, I think Sarachek's going to be very interesting. I feel like a lot of the teams are just going into Sarachek as an out-of-town tournament. And correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you guys, or at least your players, are going into the tournament like this is your regular season playoffs and championship.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, you know, it's what it is, you know, and we're playing for it. Like, we want to go there. So we want to play in it. Once you're going, you may as well try to win. I'm not going to go in seventh place or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think many teams are going there to go to seventh
Yeah.
place.
I get it, but we're not just going to be happy to be there. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Right.
I mean, there probably are a few teams that are happy to be there, but you're talking about like.
But I feel like
the
even
bottom of the
Satrin,
bottom of the bottom.
and I feel like Satrin, even you guys had Sarachek on the back of in the back of the head because you were playing for respectable seating for Sarachek, maybe.
I mean, there's something to that. I'm not going to deny that. But we went there thinking we could win.
Yeah.
You know, like and so like we when we left, we thought we had done what we went to do. We just didn't finish the job, kind of thing. You know, and I think Hebrew Academy's Berman was the same way. We just get. I don't want to say we get disrespected. Sometimes it's deserved, by the way. But they're in Maryland. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. But and shout out to Chaim Zakheim, who I'm sure is gonna tune into this after. We talked about that game, and he said he had nothing but high praise for you guys after the game, even though Frisch went on to win.
No, he was great. Well, I mean, we were hard to guard, and that's all we try to be is hard to guard. And when they're kind of throwing our hands up and going, okay, we're gonna have to do some kind of junk here now. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, like I said, it's 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and you're up 19. You have to finish the game, and we didn't do it. So, you can wallow in it and bitch about it or learn from it. And I think our guys have learned.
You live and learn.
Like I said, and that's what I was. That's why I was so happy with yesterday. Because we guarded again, and we hadn't done that in a while. In particular, Grandma hadn't done that in a while. And Yak wasn't playing at maximum efficiency, and we were doing dumb things with our hands, But once again, it's another game where we're really not, the team we're playing is not really in the bonus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? So, and if you can continue to play that way, you have a chance to win every night because you're not putting guys on the line. It does have its drawbacks because, like, you might need to foul late in the game, and you don't realize, like with Hebrew Academy, you don't realize that you only have 2 on the board and there's 3 minutes to go. I've always been on top of that, and it's a major mistake I made that night, so it's kind of my fault. But that's whatever, won't happen again. So
yeah, but even if you're in that situation, as long as you're on top of it, you can go into like.
Yeah, we did.
You can press. You can press in that situation.
We did it, but
was
I
late.
looked at 5 minutes and saw that we had 2, I'd have just had somebody go in the game and get 2 in the backcourt right away.
Yeah.
Just foul them in the backcourt. As soon as they bring it in, just foul. Like, you get 2 on the board, because then maybe we'll pick up another one over the next 4 minutes, or then we only need 2 fouls instead of 5 fouls.
Yeah.
So instead of knocking 25 seconds off the clock, 10 seconds go off the clock. And as it was, we could have used those extra 15 seconds that night. But we have a lot of respect for them. They did a great job.
That's not. I wouldn't want to play Berman and Sarachek.
Well, I would.
I think Coach wants to.
I know you would, but I don't know if so.
No, I'm saying if I'm another team, I know how good they are.
Yeah, that's a tough bunch.
Johnny's doing a nice job, really good job with this group.
They've earned a lot of respect. Sweeping JDS. Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to have to do this one more time with JDS, but at that point, they may have real estate
in the PVAC playoffs.
Yeah, I think, because if Sandy Springs is going to be in first place in that league, JDS probably end up being the 3. Hebrew Academy be the 2. Who do you play?
Buckle up.
Huh?
Buckle
That's
up.
how I think they're going to shake out. It's going to be at Berman.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be a cool watch, to be honest with you. But I think when they're done, they're going to want to play. I know Ms. Rocky's talking about coming here on March the 3rd. And then I think they're playing them on Saturday night.
Coach, would you be willing to play BT one more time before Sarachek or no?
Sure. If Butterfield would play us, I don't know if they would play us.
I
I want to play them, but I'll reach out to Stacy, see what she says, but I don't think they'll play. They might. I mean, they're going to play. I think I saw they're playing Barrack and Kohelet this weekend
Those should both be easy wins.
up in Philly.
Sifta is better than both of them.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah,
I think they are.
100%.
Well, Kohelet's actually playing pretty well. So
I think
I mean-
Sifta kicked Kohelet though, no?
did they?
Yeah.
So like all right, I think they did. So whatever it is, right? You go up there, you're going to get two. They're going to give you their math teacher and their science teacher. You go to Kohelet, that's who you're going to get ref in the game. Like these two old guys who I kind of like, but you're going to be in foul trouble the minute you walk in the gym. They're going to be like, you get out the car, you have 4 fouls to start the game. The one we went up there to play a couple of years back. I think in the first half, that's why we didn't go again, because okay, one of the reasons why the NBA to me was fixed, and is because the NBA has 60 referees in it, and during the Donaghy scandal, 10 of them came from Philadelphia. Now, let's say that the best referees are percentage wise, it makes no sense, but let's say it makes sense. Okay. There's all those great referees in Philadelphia, and every time I go to Kohelet, I get the same 2 bastards that come do my game. You're getting 10 referees going to the NBA, and I got 72-year-old Joe and 71-year-old Sam doing my game in a long sleeve referee shirts. Like, come on, fellas.
You never put in a
Okay.
request to Rabbi Josh Friedman?
No, just I guess it's like I don't know. Maybe they live in the neighborhood, so it's a sad.
Wait, you still got the same deal even when Ellie was there?
Yeah, they're the same 2 guys from Ellie's games. Yeah, so like we played them, I think 3 times, and all 3 times that dude's been doing our games. So I know, and I mean, line them up. Everybody had 3 fouls, and I'm a 2 foul guy, but I had no bench left. There's like 27 fouls in the first half or something like that. I'm just like, what are we doing here? And like we had a massive lead. I think we got out to like 25. That one kid running his mouth though, like, and I don't tolerate it a lot. The one kid's running his mouth. I think his number was 14 or something. He made a shot. I think he made a 3. He came by the bench. He said, "Coach, you better get a guy on me." And I said, "Nah, I seen you shoot. I'm not worried about you at all."
Oh my God. I would be
We're gonna leave you open. That's what I said to him, and he had 5 points for the game. You know what I mean? Like, we're leaving you open. I seen you shoot. I'm not worried about you.
Coach, there are actually players on the court who like had the audacity to like call you out.
Oh, hell yeah. It happens less now than it used to be. But
I'd be so afraid to touch that.
No, dude, like there'll be kids, like they'll come down the board and they'll say something to me, and I'll say, "Yo, 31, I just want you to know you weren't even in our scouting report." That's how bad we had you. We were so happy you were playing, we didn't even put you in our scouting report. You better, coach, because
that's actually a good. That's a good rebuttal without getting teed up.
Yeah, it is. But I got teed up this year. What was it? I think that got teed. Didn't he tee me up? Were you guys watching that? Did I get teed up at home?
I don't think so. Pop, do you
maybe he warned me or something.
I'm not sure.
He missed a call. Donnie Oken took a charge and he missed it. He totally blew the call. And so I said to him when he was administering the free throws, he was right in front of me, and I'm like, "That's a charge. How he's standing there waiting on me." He goes, "It's the same call I meant down there." I said, "Well, hey, dude, if you blew that call down there, that's on you. But this one over here, you just kicked that because you kicked that one. No, you blew this one. I knew." "Oh, no," he says, "the same call I had down there." And I go, "Well, I know you blew this one. So whether you blew that one, that's on you." And then he stopped the game, warned me or whatever. So I'm not talking to you for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But I've had, I told you that one with the German school, right?
Yeah, I remember
with the
that. Yeah,
referee telling me, I'm doing this
yeah.
for 30
Pop, you
years.
remember this story?
Remind me.
Referee was he's bad all day, and he's an older guy, and it's a Sunday, and I'm like 23. And I'm just telling like, I can't believe you're still doing it. Like, we're the only game in the Washington Post today, and you're doing us, and the entire Catholic League is playing, and you're doing our game. Like, in the Post, they put all the games in the Post, right? So the whole Catholic League was playing, and we were playing. Nobody else was playing. I'm like, the whole Catholic League is playing, and you're doing the Yeshiva and the German school game. Like this, I mean, come on. And he said, Coach, may I remind you, you're coaching in this game? And I said, well, the difference being, I'm on my way up. This is your utopia. You're collecting Social Security right quick. This is the highlight of this is the pinnacle of your career. Boom, boom. That was pretty much how that happened. But dude, I got a ton of that. I got a ton. Some I'm embarrassed about, some I'm proud of, but that one I was kind of proud of.
Yeah.
There was a referee he worked at JDS. His name was Rabbi Bell, George Bell. I think oversaw him. I think if somebody's listening to this and he hasn't passed away, I apologize. But I thought I heard he passed away. Anyway, we're walking into the German school. It's a very tough place to play for Jews, right? And we're walking in with him. And he's like, Coach, whatever you do, don't call me Rabbi today. Because like, if I want to get his attention, I always say Rabbi.
Right.
Well, every time this kid Lucas Jackson had it, he was walking. So first quarter, I'm like, George, that's a travel. Yeah, I call that. Ignores me. George, that's a travel. So I'm on him for like first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, close game. I'm like, George, at some point, you got to go check the rule book because that's a travel. He's like, Coach, I didn't see it. I'm like, well, George, they're paying you to see it. So you need to, well, next time out the floor, kid actually gets the ball, takes 2 steps, and then goes bucket. I said, George, that's a travel. He just ignores me. I go, Rabbi, that's a travel, Rabbi. He turned around. I go, now you hear me? Like, you didn't answer me for like 3 quarters. And as soon as I called you Rabbi. And then one time I was coaching at Yeshiva High School, and we had a female referee, and I called her sweetheart. Sweetheart, that's a foul.
No, you didn't.
But I was so mad at her, because I'm like, Jane, you saw that. They were going over the back. I said, sweetheart, that's a foul. You want to get teed up by a woman?
She probably thought you were
Just
belittling
call
her.
her sweetheart. Yeah. You get punched in the mouth, you call a ref that. But if you a male that, but if you call a female that, they get real mad at you.
Yeah.
So that you could stack them up. I have about 50 of these easy on top of my head. So I know some of my players keep, they would write them down and keep. You hear what Coach said? He told that guy.
Something tells me there's going to be
So
more to add to the scrapbook in New York next month.
What's that now?
Is there going to be more to
Something
add and more to add to the scrapbook in a month?
Y'all know Mel, right? The referee at those YU games.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this story.
No, I didn't hear this.
I'll put this out here if Mel's around and hears about it. I love you, Mel, but he's doing my game against Ida Crown. And we're actually back in the game, as bad as we were. And we were brutally bad, worst game I've ever had. But we're back in the game. Maybe it's an 8-point game. 3rd quarter, 4th quarter, something like that. And he calls a tech. It's a 10-point game. He calls a tech on them. So I want to sub in. Did you see that kid Yaakov Abramson hit that 3 yesterday, end of the game?
Yeah.
Did you see that? So he's our best free throw shooter. So I know if I send him in the line, he's going to make them both. Okay. So I sub him in. And Mel's like, you can't do that. I'm like, of course I can do that. I'm doing it all year. Doing it for 20 years. He's like, you're wrong. You're not allowed to do it. So what do you mean I'm not allowed to do it? He says, you can't do it in high school. You do it in college. You can't do it in high school. I said, of course I can do it in high school, Mel. And we're getting along. Like it helps that Donnie and Ellie are on my bench that night because he loves Donnie and all that, right? So he says, I will bet you my game check. I said, what you making tonight, Mel? He goes, $120. I said, all right, I want 100 crisp $1 bills next time I see you because you're wrong. Well, it was bad enough that the way YU scheduled it, we didn't finish that game till about 1:30.
1 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys were all the way out of Princeton.
Yeah, then we had to drive back. So at 3:30, I'll tell you exactly when I texted him. You ready? Because I'll just look it up right here in a second. Let me see. Mel Cheatham. All right, here we go. I text him at March 27, 2022. At what time is this?
Sunday morning. Yeah.
No, well, yeah, it was Sunday morning, but what time did I send it to him? I sent it to him Saturday night.
27th was Sunday.
3:16.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mel, I get him the next day.
Yeah.
And as soon as I walk in the gym, he looks at me and he's like, no. So at halftime, he's in the office over there in TABC in the big gym. So I go back to the office with him. I'm like, dude, you have my money? Because I sent him the rule. And at the end of it, I wrote, well, at the beginning, I wrote grasshopper, pay attention. Right. So okay, hold on. I'll actually read it to you. It's funny. I love Mel. He's just a great, he handled it great.
Yeah, of course he did.
Hold on. I thought you did a really good job. I said, now for the fun stuff. I realize you're the best around here, but this will teach you to mess with me. And then at the end, I write, I'll take $120 crisp brand new $1 bills. Here endeth the lesson, grasshopper. And I went, anyway, Elliot gave me the context, and this is all his fault. He gave me your contact information. So
oh my God.
But so and Mel's partner was the same guy from the night before. He's like, I'm stuck on the LIE or something. It was something like that at like 3 in the morning, 2:30. I'm behind an accident. My assigner calls. How'd the game go? He goes, I got this question. And the assigner goes, you can owe him your game check. Goes, right. Not only can I do that, but I can sub another shooter in for him and shoot the second free throw.
Yeah.
The only thing I can't do is the kid I originally sub out has to sit out for a tick of the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can do that in college and high school. So
Sure.
I saw Mel on Monday, and he said, I am never messing with you again when it comes to the rule book, brother. I am never. That's what's great about him.
Not only did you not get teed up, you got compensation.
No, he was great. No, he was great. They were both great all night. The next day, they weren't so great, but they realized that we were sleeping for about 2 hours the night before, so it was a tough night.
A month and 22 days. We're looking forward to it. Pop, you think it's a conflict of interest if Max Live had the two of us announce the YMC games?
Good game, man.
Last I checked, there was I announced the YMC game against EULA, so I don't see any conflict of interest.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I called it with Jeffrey Tannenbaum.
Hold on now. Who was when he
called him Donnie Katz all the time.
Huh?
He kept calling Donnie Carter Donnie Katz.
Yeah, he did. Hey, Pop, and tell Oren what you did when the game was over.
Oh, I went into the locker room, of course.
Yeah, I know about this. Jean Rose.
And then your rabbi or whatever didn't want to let me in, but I busted my way in. I gave a post-game speech.
We told him Pop was our mascot.
Now they got two mascots.
I guess so. But
you're gonna see two random guys with the parents, and people are just not gonna know what the heck is flying.
Our guys know all about you guys now, so they're definitely gonna know after the night.
They knew who I was before then.
Pop is a legend. They don't understand that you're a Hall of Famer, Oren.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Oren's Hall of Famer,
yeah.
Pop, you have ways to go, bro.
I don't know, Coach.
I'm a has-been.
Who's getting to the Hall of Fame these days? Johnny Halpert?
I'm not. I'm not. Or Lior's
Yeah.
going to Hall of Fame.
Anyway.
Lior and Ayala are there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway,
No, we both got a way to go. We both got a
Yeah.
long way to go.
yeah, we're still young, I think. Anyway, we're approaching the 2 hour mark, but we do want to do a little bit of a quick lightning round regarding YU.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Since we're going into the home stretch. Well, we talk a lot about. I think the key word throughout the seasons are freshmen, 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 freshmen.
Right.
So, in your opinion, and it's not to bash other freshmen, but we just want to know your opinion. Who do you think over the course of this season? Who do you think has grown the most in confidence, and why?
In confidence.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think there's a freshman wall that everybody hits, and Zevi hit it, and Roy hit it, and Dotan hit it. So, it honestly has. I don't know. Because I don't. Max just has too much experience. But
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Would you really put him in that category? I wouldn't.
not, I think Jacob Roden has gotten a little more confident. I think Effie, obviously, although I'm sure Sunday sent him for a little bit of a loop, but his ability to respond like he did on Tuesday night was great. Probably Zevi because he's had his shaken a little bit, and our response to fixing Zevi, I would think we've done a hell. If you ask me, coaches learn stuff too. And we thought, well, the no-brainer is Max on the ball. And the problem was it wasn't getting to Zevi, or it wasn't getting to Zevi in positions where he could do something with it until late in the shot clock. So he's forcing up contested shots because we're not running through our offense. We don't have to make the defense guard him right away. Now they do. Okay. So I don't know. I think Roy's still I mean, it's a good question. I'd still say Zevi, but Roy, Dotan, Dotan's just trying to figure it out. They're all just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
I still think Zevi.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of a freshman season. You're trying out different things. You're
like Roy was gangbusters, and I think there's a wall that every freshman hits. And it always happens. Happened to Sim, happened to Donnie, happened to Ryan, happened to Gabriel.
Yeah, but why do you think Roy's been shooting less? Because it's not like his percentages were off by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't really know. It's just a wall. It's just like this thing that happens to freshmen.
It's just a growing pains thing, right?
Yeah, it's nothing to be alarmed about because he's going to kill this league for the next 3 years. He's
that's for sure. He already looks like he'll be a force for years to come.
Yeah, he's going to be great. It really is just a maturity process. That's really. I still think it's Zevi because he had that whole thing and then took a nosedive and the whole world jumped off his bandwagon. And the thing was, we knew how to fix it.
You can say that Samir helped too, because he spent time with him over the break.
Yeah, but we knew what we were going to do with it. I told you guys about it. I didn't tell you what it was, but I kind of assured you that Zevi was going to be back to being Zevi. Was that not my quote?
Confirmed right. Confirmed right.
And then he's what do you have 59 the last 2 days? So pretty good effort. 27 and 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty good effort. So I would say Zevi because he kind of had his confidence in the toilet for a little bit, But I still think Dotan and Roy. I mean, everybody's really been pretty good. Like I kind of like how they kind of continue to fight, and Roy's just been. He's guarding people. I'd like to see him rebound a little better. He was doing that earlier. I'm not, but he's really had tough assignments because he's been on the perimeter with shooters and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
But still, with all Zevi had to go through publicity wise, that's probably why I'd say Zevi.
Yeah, no, for sure, a lot of adversity there. And lastly, only 5 Skyline games left, and then it's playoff time.
Incredible, right?
You know, it's just unbelievable how fast the season has gone.
Seasons happen quick.
Yeah. Do you? I mean, obviously, we want to be. We're optimistic going into every game. Do you think it's a tough ask to see this team win out going into the playoffs?
Oh, I thought we could win out starting a couple weeks ago. I still think we can win out. It's not easy because you got to go to Long Island. It's always been tough for us to play there.
Gotta go Long Island twice.
Yeah, Farmingdale the last game.
Yeah, but I'm
Gotta go to
saying
Long Island and go to Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Farmingdale is kind of.
Also, will that game be meaningful by then? We don't know.
It's a good question.
Right. Well, it's not in our hands,
Yeah, correct.
frankly. It's in our hands to make it potentially meaningful, but we don't control
It's always in our
sort of
hands.
things.
Always in our hands. But in this league, you know, I still think it'll be Farmingdale staying at the end. For us to play. You understand what I mean? And then if we beat them, what do we have? 3 losses now. If you win out, and one of those wins is Farmingdale, you end up tying them.
They still have the tiebreaker on us.
Because they beat the Marines.
No, because they lost to the Marines into Manhattanville, and those losses are in the other division because the rules are stupid. They penalize you more for losing in division games, even though you play twice in division.
Yeah.
What? So even though
we could beat Farmingdale and still be I mean, there's a scenario right now where no, even if we win out, we could still end up as the 3 seed.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't read
But
too much.
either way, I mean, either way,
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
the team last year, as good as we were last year, we weren't.
we were a
top
3 seed last year.
Yeah. So
We were a 4 seed when we won it the first time.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess at the end of the day, who really gives a damn once it's playoff time?
You're gonna be good. You gotta go out on the road and win.
Yeah. And I think we were prepared to do that last year. The upsets just went our way that we posted every round.
If you think you're a playoff team, then you should be able to go on the road and win.
What do you think? Where do you think the toughest environment would be to go out and play? Farmingdale?
No, I think Marines would be tougher than that.
The Marines are 7-0 at home, Warren.
Yeah, I think the Marines. It's just.
Yeah, I guess I was talking less about record and more about intimidating.
The toughest place to play would be the Marines. Yeah, at least for us historically, we've had relative success at Farmingdale.
I don't think Coach is saying Farmingdale's an easy place to play.
No,
But,
not at all.
But
I think it's a very difficult place to play.
the Marines own that place.
We've had more success.
Yeah.
Wait a second now. Still Farmingdale though, but the
History.
Marines. And I don't say the Marines because we lost there.
Yeah.
Had we won there, it has historically been a place for us to play, but we've usually won.
Not easily though.
Farmingdale, that comes with its own. I think Yankees, Red Sox a little bit. That comes with its own thing.
Especially in the last few years, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
When I was in YU, it was Old Westbury. It seems like it's always changing.
Coach, but on the Farmingdale thing though, you're saying more of like. I mean, they're like just historically the last few years they've been like the rival, I guess, if you will. So the issue is more playing Farmingdale than playing at Farmingdale. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like that game you could play anywhere. I think they know that, and we know that.
They almost beat us at our place in 1920.
They did. But there's that team was extremely mentally tough.
Yeah.
And I think we messed around a little bit. It was a 14-point lead or something at halftime.
Yeah.
We messed around a little bit.
43-29, and then Sanat hit 5 in a row to start the half.
Yeah.
Then we ended up doubling them. I thought the best player in the first half was Donnie.
Doubled him, but had Caleb on him, win the double.
Right.
Yeah.
So once we double it, just leave Donnie on there. Donnie was giving away 5 inches, but the truth is Donnie never said a word about that. Because he guarded Sanat all the time. So he was like, whatever. And Gabe didn't want to guard Sanat. So Donnie guarded him, and Donnie was fine guarding him. And then they just kind of pummeled Donnie in there with him. But once you're double teaming them, once you were bringing help with Aton, Elliot will say this. I'm not giving So, you know, Elliot and I have talked about it. Like once we were doing that, because like he called me up that night at like 2:30 in the morning, Elliot. He's like, I just watched the first half. Like, remember, Donnie's like the only one who didn't get in foul trouble either. And he's like, Donnie was our best player. I can't believe we didn't, like, he sat him most of the game in the second half because Sanat. But like we were helping on Sanat, so why don't you just, and we had no continuity offensively, why not just go back to Donnie? He's like, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was the game when we got saved by Eitan shooting 4 for 11 from 3 because no one could hit anything.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, all you have to do in a game like that is just survive that one. In a situation like just survive that one. It was almost like we kind of needed a wake up call and we got it, and then Katie bought it. You know, like no, you know, the next 3 games weren't close.
Next 3 games
You
we
know.
put up 55 in the first half against Purchase, 51 both halves against WPI, and 62 against Harrisburg in the second half.
This is why he's here, Pop.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why he's here, Oren.
Good
Because
addition.
we needed a gearhead.
Yeah, I think it's time to boot off Jack.
I hate putting himself
Hi,
off.
Jack.
His phone
Jack.
died. His phone died. That's why he's off.
He'll watch it. He'll watch it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let him know we didn't take any pot shots at him. We didn't say anything behind his back that we wouldn't say in front of him.
Facts.
So, I mean, look, to sum that thing up, it's hard. It's hard for me to listen to it. And it's hard for me to stay quiet about it. Because like how do you say this? It's kind of like, well, wait a second. We go back to even probably that first podcast. I said, this is a long-term project. This is not a 1-year project. And we're going to, and then Jack was going off how he predicted us were going to win the championship, whatever.
Right.
I'm kind of like, well, I mean, it's a possibility, but
Right. You've been cautiously optimistic the entire time.
yeah, it's just not how this works. Like I have been through this before with different programs, and it doesn't just like snap your fingers and okay, you know.
Right.
It's long, it's arduous, and we have a core group now that we just have to fill pieces in, and we have to make sure they're the right pieces. They're we pieces and not me pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do that, I think we
And
have some guys coming in who may do that for us. You know, and we have guys sitting on our bench who might do that for us.
Yeah.
You know. So
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. We're definitely in crunch time.
if you don't want to buy in, there's 7 doors you can go at it, right?
got that right. They all open and close the same way. Don't let the door hit you where God splits.
Well, the
you.
emergency exit's a little tough to get open.
Whatever. Oh, go through it. Go through it. You know what I mean? Like just like you just don't have time. I think what kids fail to realize until it's too late is how precious playing college basketball is. No one, so few get to do it. And to take the approach is like, I'm just playing for me, is when you're part of something big, like these guys, Donnie, Sim, Gabe, Ryan, Ofek, Eitan, even Bart, they're all going to be connected for the rest of their lives. Kevin, Tyler. And when they see each other, it will always be a good thing. You understand what I mean? I'm not sure that group from last year going to have that same, but that group will know that together they did something, and they will always be bonded, and they know that they did something no one had ever done. There's something really cool about that. And there's like they're forever, you know, they're at each other's weddings, they're like forever connected, you know, and it's just awesome. Did Jack just come back?
He came on and came off.
Howard, where you at?
Oh, you know why? He wants to come back for the off the record stuff.
Oh, all right, so I'm saying like that, you know, when you're part of something bigger, the kids don't get that. College kids don't get that. Well, I gotta get my shine and all that nonsense.
I gotta get mines.
Yeah, like you to be part of something big like that. You know, you think Michael Bixson will ever forget it? You know what I mean? Like even guys like that, like
Bix was a glue guy, locker room glue guy.
you think Sammy Mandel will ever forget it?
Right, Max Leibowitz.
They'll never forget it. It was the ride of their life, man.
Yeah.
They were just part of something bigger than themselves. And they were a big part of it because they are the people practicing and they are at practice every day and they are contributing to what was going on. Didn't always understand what was going on, but they were contributors of what was going on.
Yeah. 100%.
That, like, there's like you're only a team for like 8 months. You know what I mean? And then it's over.
Yeah.
So you have to take advantage of those 8 months and really get the most out of it. Of all the teams I've ever been around, that team probably got the most out of what they had going for them. And they did it in like a spectacular fashion.
Yeah. Team will never forget.
Yeah, didn't just beat you. They clinicked you for the most part.
Yeah.
The Farmingdale game notwithstanding. That's a crazy part because when they came a few weeks earlier, beat them by 40, 30, something like that.
I think it was 40 at one point, and then it got down because the bench came in.
Yeah.
But that was Sim had like 7 3-pointers in a span of 10 minutes.
That'll just show you like you can't like losing by one team by 40 and coming back beating them the next night.
Yeah.
It's not as strange.
And they almost beat us without Hunter Schenkel too.
Yeah, you see, that's like addition by subtraction somewhat. Well, what I mean by that is like
I know exactly what you mean, Coach.
You know, like that guy's a focal point of what they were doing. We took him away, and then playing without him, I think, worked to their advantage because other guys thought, well, you know, forgot about us, you know. So that's
We
that.
and not me.
Huh?
We and not me.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
All I got for you tonight, guys.
All right. Well, that does it for episode 6 of the Harold Katz podcast. I'm sure the next time we'll be on, it'll be closer to playoff time and closer to Sarachek time. Thanks so much to all you guys for tuning in. We apologize again for the technical difficulties. Always great to have Pop on as a scholar in residence. And,
Maybe next time.
Yeah, keep up to date, and we'll be back with another episode of the Harold Katz podcast in the near future. Thanks, guys. Good night.